Okay, come sit with Mama and let's count us in.
Un, ja, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There we go. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, hi everyone, it's Catriona here from Sláinte, Scotland, and I have my little helper Tamsin with me, who kindly just counted us in using her Gaelic, because she's in the Gaelic nursery, so she learns Gaelic. Now, because it's Burns Day and Burns Night coming up, I thought I'd make a wee video, and it's a kind of family time, so I like to include my daughter. Plus I'm a working mother, so I've got her about quite a lot, so it works nice and easy to have her here. But yeah, so we're going to talk about Robert Burns and what he means to Scotland and why we celebrate him on the 25th of January every single year. Now personally, I heard of Burns a long time ago, and you will also know about Burns, won't you? Yeah, because in Scottish schools you get taught about Burns until he comes out of your ears, and you kind of end up missing the message. Well, at least I did. And it wasn't until I was much older that I started to understand how significant this man actually was and how brilliant his poetry was. You know, it really talks to you. If you actually read each line has a message. Now the thing about Burns is that he was born in 1759 on the 25th of January, which is why we celebrate it on that day. And he was born into a relatively poor home as a farmer, and he spent all his days farming, and if he wasn't a customs and excise man. And he was, and he was a great guy in terms of promoting the Scottish language. Now, why is that so significant? Well, at the end of the 18th century, Scotland had gone through quite a political change. You had the Act of Union in 1707, and then obviously Culloden in 1746, and thereafter Scottish culture and Scottish identity changed quite a lot. Now, unlike the Gaelic, which was completely outlawed, Scots was demonised in a completely different way. It was, because it's so similar to English, it was looked upon as a sub-language, as poor English, as slang, as a dialect, and therefore, it was completely undermined in Scottish society. Considering Scots was the language of the kings a couple of centuries beforehand, it's quite apt that this has happened, and quite sad that it had happened. But anyway, the people at the time would have spoken Scots, and at home it was the language of the common folk. And so the fact that Burns wrote his poetry, she's showing you her toes by the way, she's got lovely penguin socks. The fact that Burns showed you his poem and wrote his poems in the language of the people meant that the people could actually understand and really participate in the meanings that he wrote about. And he wrote a lot of revolutionary kind of ideals through his writing. You know, you have things like A Man's a Man and Tia Moose, where he really questions the social structure in our society. And as such, the communists loved Burns. The Soviet Union translated his works into Russian, and he's a symbol to some extent of the Russian Revolution. So you take the good with the bad. But so I just wanted to really talk about Burns, where he came from, the significance, and obviously as a Scot you celebrate his birthday. He is the Bard, which means he's like our national head of poetry and literature in Scotland, and we celebrate his birthday with haggis, neeps and tatties. And if you're going to a more formal function, you might have a Burns supper whereby, you know, people will address the haggis. You might say poems to the women and to the men at the table, sing Scottish songs, have a real Scottish celebration, because Burns really is a symbol of Scottishness, when Scottishness was something not to be celebrated. And he's a bit of a kind of stick it up to the establishment sort of figure, which really spoke to the Scottish psyche, especially that time when revolution was in the air. You had the French Revolution, which was going into play, and you know, you had the 1820s revolution coming up thereafter. So people really did think about what they were and who they were in society and their rights in society. So we really love Burns, and as such Burns has got so many statues all over the world, and I'm sure there'll be lots of folk having a nice Burns supper. And are you going to be eating your haggis tonight? Yeah? Do you like haggis? Tell everybody you like haggis. Tell everybody in the camera you like haggis. Do you like haggis? Yeah? She's becoming all shy. You're going to be all shy? You're not going to be shy, you silly Billy. Hey? No. Anyway, we're not going to bore you anymore with Rabbie, but we hope you all have a great Burns night, and haste you back to one of our videos in the near future. Say, cheery. You can say that in Gaelic. Say cheery. No?
I can say Cheery. I can see Elsa.
You can say Elsa. Well, that's another video. Maybe Tamsin will do her own Frozen video at some point. Okay? Say Mash and Life.
What's it like?
There you go.